Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. Christian, we're looking at some City transfers now. We've done a couple on United. How are we doing, mate? It's hotting up.
Yeah, man, it's good. Look, it's been exciting. Last couple of days, it's City are getting thrown in. The names in the hat for seemingly everyone. But yeah, two really exciting names that I want to speak about. So yeah, let's get into it, bro.
Yeah, Ryan Cherki, obviously a familiar face. From my perspective, we faced him twice this season. Just gone in the Europa League with Lyon. He scored in both games. So yeah, look, I've got some thoughts on him. I'm going to come to you. Obviously, this being a City signing, City have missed out on Florian Wirtz. It looks like it's a matter of time he's going to go to Liverpool for a big fee. This is a smaller fee. There was word in January Cherki was available for a cheap amount, nobody really went for him. And then obviously he's had a very good season at Lyon. Clearly the fee is considerably cheaper. Not that you really care either way, I'm guessing, as a fan. But it's nice to think if you can spend elsewhere. What are your thoughts on 30 million-ish euro, so maybe £25 million for Ryan Cherki from Lyon? What are your thoughts and how do you see the fit at City?
Yeah, look, the Cherki one really excites me. After we went for Florian Wirtz and he looked like the ideal Kevin De Bruyne replacement that was earmarked, we, obviously pulled out. We said what we said, whether we believe the reasons or not. And then the other names that were in the list was Gibbs White. You know my opinions on that. We spoke about it and we were like, well, Gibbs White isn't really a mystery signing. It's not like, can he fill Kevin De Bruyne's boots? We know he can't. I'm not getting I know Forest fans really like this guy, so I'm not getting a Gibbs White. I'm just simply stating facts. We know that guy's level. We know his ceiling. It's limited. Now, Cherki is a completely different entity because we really don't know this guy's ceiling. He's very exciting, dynamic, he's pacey, he's a good finisher. He boasts some pretty good stats in his recent season. 12 goals, 20 assists. I mean, it's pretty unreal, to be fair. 8 assists alone in the Europa, where he was very influential. You guys obviously came up against him twice, and he scored in I think he scored in both legs, didn't he? Home and away.
Yeah, both legs, yeah.
But scored in both legs. If you watch this guy play, he's a very interesting player. He reminds me, shout out Pat, actually, because I'm pretty sure it was you or him. I think it was Pat, and he made the comparison of Adel Taarabt. And you know what? Since watching more clips of him, I'm like, oh my God, he's proper like that street footballer, that real throwback. Look, you can't not be excited by this deal. And the more I watch him, the more I buy into it. And especially for the fee, I feel like we always talk about risk, me and you. It's a risk in terms of can he fill Kevin De Bruyne's boots, but then who can? The only player that really we were like, he isn't a like for like, but it made more sense was Wirtz. They weren't willing to pay that amount. City look like they're going down the route of, I'm not necessarily saying quantity over quality. I just think they think it makes more sense. And I do sort of agree with them that, look, we can go and get Reinders, we can go and get Cherki for probably about the 100 million mark. I do think that makes more sense than maybe spending 120 million pound on a player or 130, 140. We don't really know what they want at this point for Florian Wirtz. He is from the Bundesliga. You don't know what you're getting. We could not afford to get that transfer wrong with Florian Wirtz. I think Cherki, I genuinely think he can come in and do bits for my club. So I'm very excited about it. Alex, you obviously saw him firsthand in them 2 games. I actually missed the Lyon first leg. I did, however, see him at OT. I know he scored a nice goal. He had a couple of nice dribbles. Onana saved a nice one down to his right-hand side. And he shirts in between a couple of players. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to lean on Pep a lot for this to really be a great signing. I think left to his own devices, by all accounts, he is a bit of a rogue player, bit of a rough diamond, maybe is a better way of saying it. I like the Taarabt. I also thought of like a Gorkov going way back in the French league, who was technically brilliant street baller. I think he went missing for minutes in the games, but when he's in the game, he's very dangerous. And obviously, Lyon are not Man City. And I think a good thing as well is Haaland needs deliveries. And Savinho or Doku don't deliver. So straight away, I'm looking at Cherki with the left foot, and Cherki can cut in and swing crosses in. So simple things like that, you're looking at, well, that's quite good. I do think Guardiola's going to have to get a grip of him. Obviously, this guy has got a little bit of a reputation of, I mean, he went on a little bit of strike, didn't he? Because he didn't get his move to Dortmund a year ago. So for people who don't know, I don't know if you do, Christian, that the move, he is cheap because a year ago, he wanted to leave Lyon, and Lyon said no. So he said, fuck you then, I'm not playing, basically. 6 weeks of this went back and forth at the beginning of the season. He missed the start of the season as well for Lyon. They eventually struck up a deal, which was a year extension, because he would have been a free this summer. He'd have actually been a free agent. So he actually signed a year extension. It's a bit confusing. He signed a year extension, but there was a gentleman's agreement, or there might have been an actual release clause, I'm not sure, where this summer he can go. Hence the fee is low, because I think Lyon were looking at losing him for nothing, basically, this summer. Cherki signed the year extension, that guarantees Lyon a fee. So we don't know about the reputation of his thing. And also, Pep Guardiola is going to demand respect from day one. Cherki cannot come in and walk all over him. This isn't a pathetic coach. He's one of the all-time greats. So I think from that perspective, that's really good for City.
I think just on that, Alex, while you mention it, because I did see a few reports about it with that Dortmund situation, and I listened to all points. It's just, listen, we've seen this before. Players, I don't really like that he was doing it to move to Dortmund particularly. For instance, we had it with Riyad Mahrez. It's probably why it's not a huge concern for me, because we've seen it a lot, haven't we? Like I say, I don't particularly like that he was doing it from Lyon to Dortmund, a bit of a sideward step, I suppose, rather than Mahrez was like, I'm playing for Leicester, the Premier League champions want me. It's a bit of a different, you can see why he was a bit like, let me go, unhandcuff me, please. But I feel like, look, once he gets his move, if it is my club, if it is someone else, I don't think that's going to be an ongoing problem. Unless he hits levels which are unbelievable and maybe a Real Madrid come in, I suppose then he could maybe start showing that behaviour again. But if it does, then that means he's ripped it up for a few years at least anyway. So I'm not hugely concerned. I think, like you say, Pep will demand respect. Cherki, if he's had any conversations with Pep, will already know that anyway. So I just wanted to move on to that. It's probably a good point to transition into it. So there's recent reports from David Ornstein saying that Liverpool have actually met with Cherki and all Cherki's representatives. Well, Slot, it actually said Arne Slot has met. You can imagine me as a City fan, after I was confident of signing Wirtz, we put that video up there. Well, not confident, but I was hopeful. There was some positive rumblings. Liverpool then obviously just literally go and sign him, pretty much. That looks like it's done. And then I see this come out, and I'm like, it feels like it's getting done to me. All this time, City have been bully boy tactics in this situation. Feels like we're now in the reverse of this. And I for the life of me, I don't know whether Liverpool are doing this to just try and stop us, or I don't know whether it's a backup to the Wirtz deal that they're... I mean, it is going on a bit, this Wirtz situation, and I mean, like me and you made these points, I know a few people disagreed with us and said it was going to be a lower fee. We can categorically say now it is not going to be a lower fee. You've had a bid rejected. The fee you're going to pay is very high for this boy. And I think whether Liverpool are sceptical or not, them maybe meeting Cherki, does that tell you that they want him as well? Or does it tell you that he's a backup? Because Ornstein sort of leads to it being a backup, but I don't know whether that's true or not. So it's one of them.
I mean, look, is there more to it? I mean, look, Liverpool are in a better position than City because they're going to say Liverpool sign Wirtz, which looks a formality at this point. City are the ones that are, in the past where City have been pulling away from the pack, City are now catching up to the leaders, which is Liverpool. So you're looking ahead as opposed to looking over your shoulder. Liverpool are not. So Liverpool might be looking at this going, for the sake of 25 million, do we just do it as well? Like, realistically, obviously Cherki, we've been through a couple of things. Obviously the Dortmund shit last summer. Also there's the off the ball shit. Doesn't like doing defensive work. This is something that Guardiola has to come into, clearly.
Yeah.
You ain't coming in here from fucking Lyon. You ain't the big dog here, by the way. You know, you are going to have to do your graft. Yes, you're technically... Tarat's perfect example. Harry Redknapp stuck him in the fucking reserves, didn't he? Because he was like, you know... So, look, you obviously from your perspective, you're hoping that this goes in the right direction. The off-the-ball shit isn't going to become a problem. Because Guardiola is as intense with the ball as you have to show it both ends, mate. And as difficult as last season was with the players getting older, Cherki's not old. So you ain't walking around like Messi for Argentina.
I agree, Alex. I think
from Liverpool perspective, they might just be going, well, this is just we can almost guarantee City don't even get in. Yeah. And I think that's what it could be. It isn't going to happen. Cherki's going to obviously pick City, I'd imagine.
Well, it's one of them, isn't it? You know, if you're Cherki, it depends. Yeah, I mean, if I'm Cherki, I'm picking City based on
minutes.
Longevity-wise, you're going to get more minutes. I would still rather play for Pep. I know a lot of Liverpool fans might not like that, but look, Pep does hold a lot of respect off the footballing world. Listen, I think they have got a bit of an opening because I've heard they're maybe trying to offload Elliott. So that's why it worried me, because I was putting two and two together and I'm like, the Wirtz one looks like it's getting done regardless. I think they're too deep into that now for it not to go over the line.
Just pay it.
Just pay what they're asking because it's happening anyway.
109, 115, 120, just fucking...
Exactly.
Just get it done
money.
And get it. Yeah.
So then, when I saw this thing about maybe Elliott's getting shifted on, it's like, oh, fuck's sake. Well, Cherki, dynamic left footer, major upgrade on Elliott.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that terrifies me. If they get Wirtz and they get Cherki, and it shouldn't just terrify me, by the way. If you're an Arsenal fan, if you're even a Man United fan, dare I say it, that are hoping to climb up the league, you do not want Liverpool pulling away that much. You'd rather have a few challenges than when it was City, look what happened. It resulted in 4 Premier Leagues back to back. This shit is not light. Do you know what I mean? If Cherki comes in and he's of a high level, everyone's in trouble. I hope City do get this over the line. I'd just like to touch on, me and you have spoken, if anyone would want to make the connection of it. It's a bit contradictory because we say less risk is better. Now, I do fully back that sentiment. However, we're left in a situation where we're in a bit of a hole, City. We've got to go and get Reinders to replace Gundogan. He's going to be the Gundogan replacement. You are then left with Kevin De Bruyne has departed, looks like he's going to Napoli. Any move we do is risk attached. Yeah. Because we've not got, there's no like-for-like replacement. Florian Wirtz, for as much as people might say, is a massive risk. If we go and drop €150 million on him, and he's never kicked a ball in the Prem, huge risk. So wherever we turn, it's not like we can go, oh, well, the better option is Gibbs White. We've seen he can do it in the Prem. I mean, have we? Yeah, we've seen he can play at a level in the Prem. We've not seen he can make City challenge for titles again in the Prem. No. So that's why, in this rare situation, I would rather go with the man of mystery, who does look like he's off FIFA Street, but he does also excite me. And it's like, he has got a cracking left foot. By the way, he's very good on his right as well, which I like. He looks a dynamic player. Players can show him down the line. He's equally as happy to go down the line on his right. He's so tricky. His close control's ridiculous. We saw it with United, jinking in and out of players. He took about 3-4 players with him and still got his shot off. Bit of a weak shot in the end, I'm saved. This one does excite me, and I really hope my club can move, act like a fucking big club, pay the money. I don't really know what's going on. It's a low fee anyway. They're saying they want just in excess of €30 million. I mean, it's 45. If they were saying they wanted 45, I wouldn't be bothered based on what I've seen. So I don't understand what City are doing here. Do not sleep around and lose this deal, and then I see you overspending on Gibbs White. Do not do that.
Yeah, so just for the record, you are looking at this in a Cherki versus Gibbs White. In a Cherki Wirtz situation, you would have picked Wirtz.
Yeah.
For the figures that are mentioned.
If it was between who?
The Cherki 35 million of Wirtz 115, 20, whatever it works out.
I mean, it got it. Yeah, I suppose. Look, everyone's going to go with the marquee signing, aren't they? You know, Wirtz was the guy on everyone's lips. Yeah, I suppose you'd have to say, look, he is more established. I like what I've seen from Wirtz.
Mm.
So yeah, I suppose you'd have to say, yeah. I'm just saying there is a huge element of risk. We can't act like they're getting him on like 60 million. He's got to come in and be top 3 best players in the world for this deal to make sense. Make no mistake about that. He can't come in and go, he's got, it's his first season. No, dude, you were 150 million euro. You're going to have to come in and be one of the best players in world football from the off.
You're looking at this in a Gibbs White Cherki situation.
Yeah. Gibbs White Cherki. I think it's one or the other. And I think it makes sense to go. I mean, to be fair, they could do both, really, but I don't know. Apparently Gibbs White, Forrester outpricing him out of a move, which I don't mind at all because I don't want him. So they can keep him if they want. So yeah, I just think overall, I think City need to get this deal done. I think they need to get it over the line. The good thing is with Cherki as well, he's versatile. If you look at his attributes, he can go one way, he can go the other. You can play him on the wing. He could be very effective on the right. So say we get him and he doesn't work as a 10 in the Prem, which is possible. You know, it's a difficult position in the Premier League to nail down. We've seen it even with the best. Look, Phil Foden wants to play that position. He had one great year. Couldn't, he struggled to nail it down on the whole. If he comes in, Cherki, we can move to the right, and I still think he's a majorly effective and a great coup for my club. If we get Gibbs White and he can't perform at 10, we've got Grealish part 2, but worse.
No, I hear you.
Because he's not as good on the ball as Grealish, and then we're stuck with him.
Yeah, the unknown is what would lead you to picking Cherki, really, over Gibbs White, because it's unknown versus known. Like, potentially a lot better than what we've seen. We've seen limited stuff with him in the Europa and stuff like that, but has shown glimpses. I think as well, like the playing on the right hand side is a good shout as well, because you don't know what Foden's gonna look like, and at the end of the day, if he's 35 million and he's on the bench, then so be it. You can deal with that.
Yeah.
Liverpool are acting like City in 2018-19.
Yeah, they are.
And I think one of us, me, you, or Patrick mentioned this about those contracts to Salah and Van Dijk. Now, Liverpool, make no mistake about this. Liverpool want to three-peat, and they think they can three-peat. They are seeing this as a championship window. I think Liverpool are looking at next season and the season after. They've gone Salah and Van Dijk 2-year deals, all in on Wirtz that City don't get him, and now potentially going to go and get Cherki as well. Right, Liverpool are doing this because they think City are not as well set as they will be in 3 years. So Liverpool are going, we can win 3 here. We can win 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
And who can blame them? Personally, I actually think, I actually think we don't know what this is going to look like with Wirtz, but the more I think about it, with them, and I think that they're leaving you to your devices with Gibbs White or Cherki or stuff like that, or even they're trying to pinch Cherki. Liverpool are trying to three-peat here. I think they're going to accept Salah Van Dijk goal. They're going to dip, but they don't know to what degree. But they are going to. They're not paying them $400,000 a week to come second. No. Make no mistake. Liverpool want to do. They want to win 3 in a row here.
Yeah, it's the last. It almost seems a bit like the last dance. There's a limited. I think they know, look, Salah's not going to go on forever, neither's Van Dijk. Van Dijk's had a couple of horrid injuries. Salah's majorly looked after himself. So they're in a position where it's like, do or die, it's now or never. If you want to stamp some authority and do a City and do a three-peat, I doubt you're going to be able to do 4, boys, unlucky, but I think you could potentially, the way you're going, I think 3's an option, if they big dick this and they go and get Wirtz and then they steal Cherki, who was City's second replacement. That is seriously just going, we're taking everything, unlucky lads. Enjoy racing for top 4 next year because you ain't competing with us, and that's what it would be.
I think I get it, and I think City are going to try and manoeuvre as best they can to compete next season. They're not going to roll over and give this to them. But I think Liverpool putting all their chips in with Van Dijk and Salah and Wirtz and potentially Cherki, this is them going. And also the situation where City are as a club and as a squad, and also Arsenal just being Arsenal. Liverpool think they can do it, and look, fair play to them. I think I think if this was City, peak City, I don't think they'd be going as nuts as this. I think they might be looking at, right, Salah might go this summer because we're coming third anyway. Liverpool think they can win 3 in a row. So it's going to be mad next season. I cannot wait to see how this pans out because City are not going to roll over and give it them. And Arsenal.
No, I think just one thing, Alex, as well. How important do you think this is for City? This recent Cherki development of Liverpool throwing their name in the hat. Well, apparently they've already met him or met his representatives. How important do you think this is for City? Because we talk about the swing of the pendulum and how important this could be. And I really do think this isn't just about Cherki anymore and what that signing means and whether he can hit De Bruyne levels or whatever. I think it's a bit deeper than that. They went and took Wirtz after we were in for him. If they go to our second option and go, we'll have you as well, I think that really is like, we've knocked you back and we've not knocked you back a peg or two. We're little brothering you at the minute and you can stay down there. And I think City, I don't think it's just about the player or whether it fits anymore. I don't think City can let this happen. You've got to get that Cherki deal done now. You wanted Wirtz, you didn't get him, you pulled out of that, you did your PR stunt saying that it was because it was too much money. None of us believed you. Don't fuck this one up now. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to tell us Cherki's too much? Because he fucking isn't.
No,
because
not.
Then you will have to admit he's just picked Liverpool, and we can't go double bubble in that situation.
Liverpool are doing... Liverpool are acting exactly how... If I was a Liverpool fan, which I couldn't be further from, they're acting exactly how I would want them to act in this scenario.
Yeah.
They're seeing weakness in a giant in City, and they're trying to put foot on throat, and they're doing it in the transfer market. They're doing it They did it on the pitch last year. They have waited for cracks in this City machine. They've waited patiently for 4 years, and now they are being aggressive. And I think they're doing the right thing. It's important for City. The City have got to hit back now. This is moves and counter moves. This is chess. This is now a chessboard. This isn't even City against Liverpool at Anfield now. This is you against them in the transfer market. And if they get Cherki as well, you're going to have to come on here, Christian, and sit there and go, we're going to have to now go and get a player Liverpool have no care for in Gibbs White and overspend.
They'll take him. The joke is, Alex, they'll take him, and I'd be happy about that one. No, look, Alex. This is why I think it's huge. I've seen the way my club moved. They were aggressive, and do you know what? To be the best, you've got to take out the best, and that's what they're doing right now in City. They're being super aggressive, like we did when we wanted to take. It was United at the time. When we wanted to take from United, we were aggressive. It was like, Tevez, we're taking you. Adebayor, we're taking you. Nasri, we'll have you and all, mate. It was, and that's how you've got to be. I'm not saying Liverpool are doing it to that point or that extent. I'm just saying the way they're being, I think that's what you've got to do. And if you want to reign at the top and you want to get the most out of these last couple of years, this last dance period with Van Dijk, Salah, it's a smart move on their part. I do think City are going to get this Cherki deal done because I think it makes sense for him and it makes sense for City. So I don't see why he would... I mean, if you're looking at that, if Cherki's smart and he's got good representatives around him, you'd want to know, well, where's my game time coming from? Because I'm looking at Salah, and we all know you're in for Wirtz, and your midfield last year was the best in the Prem. I just want to know what my minutes are looking like. Whereas if he comes to City, he's going to be one of the main guys. So for me, it's a no-brainer. But we'll see, man. I am excited about this signing. If any other City fans want to hit us up in the comments, I'd love to know everyone else's opinion because he really does. He's a street football. He's a bit of a throwback, and it's one of them. Some people are going to either love it or they'll hate it. But I'd be eager to know what the consensus is on this one. So but Alex, listen, we've got some more news as well on City that we can get into. So we've got Ait Nouri as well. Now it's a bit similar to the Embuemo who we did earlier, who has basically said, I want Manchester United. Now, Ait Nouri has done something quite similar. He said he wants Manchester City, according to Fabrizio Romano. Wolves apparently want around a 40 million fee. City are around about the 30 million mark, so they're haggling a little bit. I'm not surprised after that Núñez one. I mean, they should be saying, no, just take it for whatever you want after what we did to you then. Your pants are still round your ankles from a couple of seasons ago, lads. But clearly they're holding out. I do actually like this signing. I've been a fan of Ait Nouri for a while. I'm not just saying it. I like how quick he is in transition. He's neat on the ball. He's a good crosser. Bit of question marks over his defensive ability, but mate, there always is with these fullbacks these days.
Yeah.
We know the way they play. They're ultimately attackers now.
Yeah, that's it. They're all converted wingers.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. If you track their history back in the youth team, they would have 100% had their favoured position as the one in front, and they got moved back ultimately. So, Ait Nouri, if we look at him last season, we got 4 goals and 7 assists in the Prem. Now, I think if you look at City in their peak, we always had balance out wide. We always had guys that were threatening at fullback. So we had João Cancelo, we had Kyle Walker. They always questioned opponents. When we had the high press and we had players with serious ability as fullbacks, it must have been unbearable for the opponents because they were like, right, well, we're trying to concentrate defending Sterling, Sane, Aguero, and they've got fucking Kyle Walker and João Cancelo. And João Cancelo, when he was playing on the left, by the way, and cutting in on that right foot, was absolutely phenomenal. And it added something different to our game. We have recently gone away from this, and we've had Rico Lewis there. You know I'm not a big fan of him. Serious holes in his game. We've gone down the centre-back route, where we've had Vardiol. I know Vardiol, okay, yes, you can say he gets goals from that position. However, if you look in terms of a fluid attack, they don't really offer much. Vardiol does not offer much in terms of fluid attacking ability. It's not like a João Cancelo. It's not a Kyle Walker where they demanded players to come out of position to follow them, which then therefore created space for our forward line. Now, I feel like this is a signing that actually does that, and that's why I like it. So, Ait Nouri for me is an absolute no-brainer. I would go and wrap that deal up quickly. But yeah, what's your thoughts on it, bro?
Yeah, City have got to get back to what made them good. And we spoke about, obviously just on the United episode, ours is a bit of a deeper issue running back with the Prem signings. City's is going back to good, fast, overlapping wing backs, full backs, whatever you want to call them. Not a Kanji and Gvardiol clogging it up on the halfway line. Guardiola did that to stop teams transitioning, but no, you've got to get the threat back, like you said. And that's what I think Ait Nouri definitely brings you. And 40 mil's very reasonable, by the way. So, look, it's a no-brainer. Look, Nick O'Reilly was playing there. He's not even a left-back. So that shows you where City are at in that exact position. To just go and get a left-back, it's a plug-and-play for City going into pre-season. Well, maybe Club World Cup. I don't know how transfers work, if they can play in that. If not pre-season, August, I expect to see him lining up from minute one, really. No doubt about it. So I think that's much more. Unless Liverpool, are they thinking of getting Ait Nouri as well?
Fucking hell, man. Oh, God. Robertson is coming towards the end as well, isn't he? Jesus.
Well, I mean, Kirk has gone quiet. I don't want to scare you here.
Yeah, well, the weird thing is, we tried to do that to them with the whole Kirkes thing, and we went in for him. But then nothing really materialised there, and then we've got Ait Nouri. But yeah, Kirkes has gone eerily quiet.
No, I think Kirkes is going to go Liverpool. So
it looks like a joke apart.
I think those two were the two best left backs. We're going to do team of the season this evening on in the Premier League, and I think I'm interested to see which way we've gone with those three. But
Alex, I won't ruin it, but for anyone that wants to watch it, I've got a bit of a wild card option on that. So we can have a little debate. So I'm looking forward to that with you because I think you'll be surprised. But anyway, we're going off the point a little bit. So with Ait Nouri, I'm fully in agreement with you, Alex. I think overall, if you look at the way we play and... Sorry, dog's trying to get in my room. If you look at the way we play and the way Pep plays, the most effective players in our formations have been Pep's fullbacks. And recently, we've had centre-backs in their positions where when we rotate the ball back, we're seeing Akanji, Diaz tee off from 30 yards. We've gone away from what made us an absolute powerhouse. I think getting Ait Nouri back, it makes us such a better team. It makes us more fluid in attacks. And I think it gives us just something a bit more. And also, delivery. We don't have players that can deliver the ball to Haaland. So don't underestimate how important it is to go and get a fullback that can actually cross the ball and put it on a sixpence. We need this. We need it desperately because we haven't got it anywhere else on the field. And ultimately, I'm hearing Cherki rumours and things like that we've just discussed. but we've not heard a lot about City going for anyone in that front line, which concerns me a lot. So you need to find that elsewhere, whether that be Cherki, Ait Nouri. So yeah, Man City, go and get this deal done. It is an absolute no-brainer at the price they want. I know you're probably still pissed off about Núñez, but this one doesn't concern me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the big one is Cherki, obviously, and this ongoing duel with Liverpool. It's fascinating, honestly, watching you two go at each other. But to your point, I am looking at these next 2 seasons as a United fan, a little bit sort of concerned with the moves that Liverpool are making, how aggressive they're going. Don't get me wrong. I think I said it earlier in the episode. I don't blame them. I think they are right in what they're doing. If you weren't going to go all in this summer, don't renew Salah and Van Dijk. It was all or nothing, and I see that City have got these counter moves. Ait Nouri is one of them, but I think City have got they've got to punch back, but not with Gibbs White.
No, you've got to go. The thing is, right, you can't go and like for like get someone that matches Florian Wirtz. I understand that, but Cherki is an exciting signing. Ait Nouri is an exciting signing. And I think, you've got to almost parry the punches right now. They're fucking moving heavy, man, and you've got to go and respond in the transfer market. Ait Nouri and Cherki do that, and you cannot go and let them stamp all over you, little boy you, and go and get Cherki from under you, and then go and put Cherki on the bench when you were going to put him as your main 10 next year. Do not let that happen. We've got to do that. And not only that, City, we've got to move in them forward positions. Because right now, Savinho and Doku are not good enough for this football club. Not currently. I am not saying Savinho never will be. I am, however, saying Doku will never be. So we've got to move in them positions. If players are available, like a Rodrigo, we've got to start asking questions.
Yeah, no, I think you have got to be aggressive, and like you said, it's almost like a morale boost as well that City could get these two over the line. But yeah, look, let's see how this pans out. Would they be available for the Club World Cup? Do you know?
Yeah, mate, I think that's why we're moving so fast. Look, we want these signings. We saw Khaldoon in an interview. He said we want signings for the Club World Cup. We're taking that competition seriously. Which, again, leads to this strange... Look, I understand these deals are complicated. They don't get done overnight. But don't sleep on these deals. Get them done quickly then. You do not want clubs opening up. The Cherki one makes sense for a lot of teams. It's not just City. You know, it's a risky signing in terms of if he was expensive, but the fee that is attached to it makes this street footballer very attractive to a lot of clubs, surely. So, City have got to move on this fast. But what we will do is, as soon as we see...
hence why Slot went over himself to meet representatives.
Alex, there's an element of seriousness, because for me, he's not... This is why I don't buy that Liverpool are treating this as if we don't get Wirtz, because you don't go and meet a player, because it would be so disrespectful.
This is as well as Wirtz.
It is as well as Wirtz, so any City fans that aren't bothered by it because they think, don't worry, they're getting Wirtz, no, I'd be bothered about it. Slot went and met him, and Slot will have had conversations with him. And also, I would like to add, Slot and Liverpool are moving correctly, and do you know what? This reminds me of when Pep Guardiola... We were at our best and Pep was ringing players, and I spoke about this in the past, how influential he's been on deals. He's rang players personally and they've said, it completely changed my mind, his outlook on the game, it just amazed me. Now, if you look at Slot, he's gone and personally flown out there, he's gone and met these representatives of this player. This is what we were doing, and Pep currently, I believe, is on some sort of like golf trip. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with a dog I have. It's somehow having a battle with someone else in the house. Overall...
Yeah, no, I take your point. The personal approach. Look, let's see how this pans out. We don't know, but I see where you're going with this. And Slot is obviously... Again, look, Liverpool are a cohesive unit at the moment. We don't know what the City situation is. We don't know if Pep is just fucking fuming you didn't get him Wirtz. We don't know. But Christ, if they go and pull him off, I mean, what?
Alex, I will be looking at Pep. If they go and pull this off, and look, Slot is moving, and I tell you what, the season might have ended, but it ain't ended for Liverpool, has it? Slot's out there meeting players. He wants these deals done. He's moving correctly. Don't be going on holiday. This isn't the fucking time. We need to rebuild. They don't. We need these things. They're just doing it to take the piss, because they're like, right, let's completely... let's just shut City off for the league for the next couple of years. So we've got to be very careful here, and I think, let's see how this progresses, man. But for sure, we will jump on. There might be a couple of emergency lives, man, because it's going to hot up. It always seems to drop at 12 o'clock at night, the worst possible times. But listen, we'll be on it.
That's it. I mean, look, I won't be cheering this, but if Liverpool do sign Cherki, I mean, we're going to be going on it immediately, whatever the time is. Assuming we're not actually doing our other job that we actually do for real. But, facts, man. I can't wait to see how this pans out. Obviously, it's just every day at the minute. We're trying to stack episodes. So hope you're all enjoying these episodes. Anything, talking points, Cherki Ait Nouri, Wirtz, Liverpool fans. We had an influx of Liverpool fans in the subs. Appreciate you all. What do you think about this if you're watching this video? Do you want to pull off Cherki for footballing reasons, or is it to Little Boy City? What is it? Thanks, everyone, for listening. Let's see how this progresses. Catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.